Loosen up. Loosen up. Loosen up. Yeah. Hey everybody, I'm Cynthia Cherish Malaran, the founder and the face of Healing House Publishing, and I'm with
Marc S. Wood, and I'm a plant-based health coach, and this is...
Hi, my name's Jennie Fagen. I am a nutrition coach at jenniefagen.com.
And guess what we've got?
What do we have, Cynthia?
We've got a question from the public, and whenever we get questions from the public, we receive a vegetable in the mail.
Oh, that's weird.
But this is actually a fruit, isn't it? This is a fruit.
Fruit.
Yeah.
Because it has seeds
That's
inside.
right. So, this is not a vegetable.
And it's
this is
sweet
a fruit.
and delicious.
And very good for you.
This one, red pepper, is coming from Jennifer in Denver, Colorado. I'm going to read you guys her questions. And these two are going to answer. Well, all three answer. So it goes a little something like this. Hi guys, so ever since the whole mass depopulation of free-range chickens was brought to my attention, I'm having a really hard time knowing where to turn for better protein options. I don't want to support an industry that is torturing animals, but I have no idea how to eat a balanced, healthy, fulfilling diet without meat, or at least without meat that is part of the big conglomerate producing massive amounts of meat at any cost. I have many friends who are vegan or vegetarian, but I wouldn't even know how to start down that path. Is there a how-to for people like me who are veggie curious? I love bacon. It may be hard to ever truly give bacon up, but what are my options? I can't even seem to find any local farmers that sell chicken for consumption, and I can't really become a farmer myself. Also in the mix is the fact that I have 3 children. How can I get them to participate? Any thoughts and or guidance would be much appreciated. XXOO. So
Jennifer.
Let's address this for Jennifer.
Wow,
Great.
good question.
It's a great question. Thank you for asking that, Jennifer. This is a common question a lot of people ask, especially when exploring a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet, is how do I get my protein? The first thing I will say to you is greens. Greens are so important. We hear this all the time, but it's hard to believe sometimes that greens have enough protein. But if you look at some of the strongest creatures in the world, look at gorillas and elephants and horses.
And this one.
Oh, I thought you were implying Marc was like
I am the Scottish animal.
what do they eat all day long? They eat greens all day long. They eat grasses. They eat hay. Horses eat hay. Everyone knows that. And the second thing is look at your grains. And I'm talking about whole grains like quinoa. You hear a lot about quinoa these days. Quinoa is actually even better than meat because it is a complete protein. It has all 9 amino acids, which means that your body processes it the best, even better than meat. And the ancient Aztecs used to eat quinoa because they knew when they ate it, it would give them strong powers to run long distances.
I love that. That's actually great history. So how do we address one of the most common questions that I get, Marc gets, Jenny gets, is, what do I do about bacon? I can't give up bacon. I love bacon. We hear that all the time. You hear that all the time, Marc.
I hear that all the time with my clients. That and cheese are probably the number 1 questions.
Yeah.
I think the first thing we have to understand is when it comes to bacon is maybe understanding what we are actually eating. Firstly, pork is one of the most fattiest of all the meats, rich in saturated fat, and in the process into making it bacon, it's not only filled with salt but also a lot of heart dangerous nitrates. So we have to understand firstly what we're eating and why we love bacon so much. So really it's all about our brain craving fat. And this goes all the way back to our ancient prehistoric days when we were cavemen and fat and sugar were necessities to keep us alive.
Yeah, so it makes sense that evolutionarily in our history, I think I just made up 2 words. Our ancestors, when they got really, really hungry as a survival mechanism, would crave 3 specific things: sugars, fats and salts. So of course we crave things like bacon, and Marc doesn't quite crave it anymore, but I think bacon smells delicious. But what I will tell you, sorry,
We're going to start a war on camera right here.
yeah, so just go out and eat some bacon. That's not what I'm trying to say. Doing well. What I would say about bacon is I honestly do not crave it anymore, and it's because I don't eat it. And it's one of those things where it's hard to believe this, but once you stop eating it, you don't even think about it. Your cravings go away. So it's very psychological, and it goes down to your cellular biology.
Right, and you can love the way something smells, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for you, or that you actually like to eat it. You know, the actual, when you know what it is. And we're not trying to tell you what to eat or how to think. We're just giving you space to think. And that's what's important.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Yeah. So for someone who is veggie curious, like Jennifer in Boulder, Colorado, Boulder, Denver. Was that Denver? In Colorado. She wants to start. So how would you point her in the direction to start exploring a more plant-based diet?
I mean, preparation is key for me. And so I think it's important to pick a day on the weekend where you can go to the grocery store, make a list, so you don't get to the grocery store and you're like, ooh, that looks nice, and that looks nice. And so pick up some greens, pick up some whole grains, like quinoa I mentioned. Oatmeal is actually chock full of protein as well. Brown rice has lots of nutritional content. And outside of that, there's things like mung beans are delicious, lentils, garbanzo beans. Those have tons of protein. Hemp seed is a gold mine that not a lot of people know about. But if you go to Trader Joe's, who doesn't like Trader Joe's?
Love Trader Joe's.
You can pick up hemp protein and you just scoop it and you add it to your smoothies. It's easy for on the go. You can pick up hemp hearts and sprinkle them on your salads.
Sprinkle it into my face.
And sprinkle it on your face. That's what she said. And sorry, not appropriate. And so
This is Naughty Nutrition. Very appropriate.
So hemp seeds actually taste, I wouldn't say they taste like cheese, but they have like a similar, like cheesy, like a Parmesan-y kind of taste and feel to them and texture. So hemp seeds all the way.
And you know, Marc and I, we come from an education space. We want to educate you guys. And Marc's got a little something about cheese. We're going to go into that more in the next Naughty Nutrition video.
And also I'd like to just jump in. I mean, a lot of people have protein on the brain, as if it's the be-all and end-all of all macronutrients, but it's actually just one of 3 important macronutrients, that being complex carbohydrates, proteins and healthy fats. So the proteins that we eat make up the cells in our bodies, the tissues, the muscles, and the outsides of our cells, and the trillions of them in our body. But we have to be realistic, and the body really only does process about 20 grams of protein an hour, and the average female, depending on height, average is about 45 grams of protein a day. The average American does get about 100 to 105 grams of protein a day, which really just turns to fat in the body, because the body cannot process so much protein. So we are a little bit protein addicted these days, and the whole word carbohydrate scares the hell out of people. Whereas the truth about it, a complex carbohydrate is much different from a refined carbohydrate. A refined carbohydrate might be white bread, white pasta, white rice, which basically just turns to sugar. Whereas a complex carbohydrate could be something like fruits or sweet potatoes, which burn off as energy and don't store as fat. So the whole protein thing is we don't need that much of it, and the abundance that we find in plants is more than enough, but it also comes with all the fiber, all the phytonutrients, and none of the fat, none of the suffering of the animals, and of course it's better and more sustainable for the planet. And if you have children, the children are the future. We really should be thinking, how do we adopt a more plant-based diet for their future? Because really this is the bigger picture. So great points about how we can start, and that really does, being prepared, preparation is definitely the key. And I'll throw in some tempeh and some tofu. So there's some other great proteins in there as well.
Yeah, and one more point to bring up is, you know, a lot of people don't want to go completely vegan right away or completely vegetarian right away. So what would be the best source of meats to eat? And what I would recommend is, if you do want to still eat meat, go to your local farmer's market. And there you can talk to the farmers, see how the animals are being raised, see what they're being fed, because remember, you're taking in whatever they're eating. So if they're eating arsenic and they're eating their own poo,
Guess what?
then you're eating it too.
Yeah.
And don't forget all the antibiotics and hormones that they're injected
Oh,
with
those
as
are
well.
delicious. So yeah.
That's why bacon's so yummy.
Yes. Yes.
So in essence, it's like, build a relationship with your food, a healthy relationship. Now, speaking of relationships, how do you get your children involved in it? And we're just going to say, have fun with it. Jenny had a great idea about preparing food that you could assemble with your kids, right?
Yeah, I think an easy way, not an easy way, but a fun way to get your children involved and get your children eating the food is if it turns into something that you can do with them. So if they're helping prepare the food, then they're more inclined to eat it. I know there's a project going down in Brooklyn where the kids go and they help out on the farm and they help grow the vegetables. And what they found from this is that the kids are bringing home the vegetables to their parents and they're saying, look what I did, look what I helped make.
How cool is that?
Yeah, how cool is this? Let's eat this.
I made this, Mom.
I made this. And they appreciate, and that goes back to what you said about developing a relationship with your food, which sounds so silly at first, but then it makes sense this way. So make things that are simple for your kids. For instance, you don't want your kid by the stove cooking up, a pot of whatever. So you can cook up the pot of quinoa or the pot of brown rice and then put it in a bowl. And then make a bowl of, sliced almonds and cranberries and red peppers.
Color
and parsley. And all they have to do is toss everything in and stir it around.
Something that's fun is if you go shopping with your kids, just tell them to pick something that's red from the fruit or the vegetable section. Give them challenges.
Educational.
And really have fun with it, because if you're gonna have food that you are like sad about, guess what? When you eat that to me, that's indigestion instantly. And then that's just a miserable time.
Food.
No, I
Sad
mean,
food
the
sucks.
beautiful, nutritious food is actually very bright and colourful. So really bright and colourful food that's grown by the energy of the sun. Ingesting that is, tenfold much better for you. And like I said, you could use the colours as well with the kids. Be it blueberries with the blue that makes, strawberries with the red, raspberries, the greens of all the plants. I mean, you could have colour games.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I actually do have 2 clients who have 2 children, and on another note, the way that they get them to start out is they make their own smoothies. So the parents might slip in the kale, which they would never eat in the first place,
but you don't taste it.
they're putting in the banana and the strawberries and maybe some dates and hemp seeds, and all that put together is like this beautiful tasting smoothie, which the kids would, if you laid it all on the plate, would probably definitely wouldn't eat it, but in this beautiful tasty smoothie, it's like just a nutritional packed drink that they've participated in with all the beautiful colours, and of course it's full of nutrition which kids need.
And to top this off, it's not just that your kids are getting nutrition, it's because that nutrition is going to allow them to focus better in school, to have more energy. And we're not talking about like, woo, I'm energized. We're talking more steady, balanced energy so that they don't crash at lunchtime, just like you do at work. I'm not saying you do that at work, but
Yeah, we're saying you do that at work.
Keep away from refined sugar.
You want those Ivy League kids, you know what to feed them now. And when you think about it, it's like, if you are like us, we're all independent in what we do. What you feed yourself is what you feed your business. And if you're tired at work and if you're sluggish at work, probably not very productive at work. Right?
Oh, for sure.
So think about that. And we hope that we're answering everything. Is there anything else? Now, at the top of our heads? I'm good. You good? You're quiet.
Yeah. All I can say is what we eat is means the world to us, and by changing our putting our old beliefs aside, trying new things. There's a whole world of possibilities to how you can feel and the joys of different foods, the tastes. And I cannot tell you enough how a more plant-based diet can only benefit you, your children, your families, the love you have in the world, for the world, on the whole. So yeah, I'd say any way forward is that way forward, and maybe cut back on the meat and save the little piggies and let the little piggies dance in the sun and the mud.
Chickens and cows and stuff. Not just the piggies.
Yeah, them too.
Them too. We're all good.
And the last thing that I'll say is that, you know, this is a lot to take on. We just gave you a lot of information about, you know, preparing foods and trying out different foods, maybe, you know, maybe mung beans or hemp seeds. And what I will say is just remember that this is a journey.
Yeah.
And all you need to do is look at your coming week and think, what is one thing that I can do this week to help eat better and help my family eat better?
That's right.
And it doesn't need to be a complete switch overnight. So just remember that all the little steps along the way are what count.
It's years for me, years for you, years for you.
That's right.
Quite a journey. And the reward is huge. So we invite anybody who's got questions to throw them at us on our Facebook pages. You can go to healinghousepub.com, find Healing House Publishing on Facebook.
marcswood.com
And jenniefagen.com.
Thank you so much. Mwah!
Thank you. Wicked.